Hello and welcome back. Today's video is going to be my 5 tips to reduce excessive shopping. Now, before I get into the video, I just want to give a little bit of background. I did recently do a video talking about 5 things that I refuse to spend my money on, and I really am trying to focus on smart consumerism. I'm not anti-consumerism, but I'm definitely trying to focus on smart consumerism. And I started a playlist of videos that relate to this, and I'm planning a lot of other content related to this. So I'll link the playlist if you want to see other videos I've done in the past kind of related to this. In that recent video, I did mention that about 5 or 6 years ago, I had a problem shopping excessively for a lot of categories. Not only makeup, skincare, clothing, shoes, Bath & Body Works candles, Bath & Body Works lotions, nail polishes, a lot of different things. And basically at this point, I still do my makeup, and I probably buy more makeup than I should. However, it is not a drop in the bucket compared to what I was doing 5 or 6 years ago shopping for all of these categories. And I really have improved so much. Now, I'm still a work in progress. I am not perfect by any means, but I really made huge changes. They made a really big difference. And this is kind of how I did that. So I just thought I'd share my tips. Again, I am not perfect. I'm a work in progress, but compared to what I was doing 5, 6 years ago, it is a night and day difference. So I just wanted to share some of the things that have helped me along the way. It is definitely a process. If you feel like you have a problem with shopping excessively, it's not an overnight fix. But it definitely can be done. And I know there's a lot of other videos like this out there. But yeah, this is just what worked for me. And yeah, let's just get started. All right, step number 1 would be to figure out how bad is the problem. And so what I did was I went through financial records, added up how much I was shopping for clothing, accessories, all of that. For me, the worst was clothing. I mentioned in that other video, I had a pretty large closet at that time, and it was completely chock full of clothes. Floor to ceiling, completely full. It was absolutely crazy. And I was also going to the mall 3 to 4 times a week, and I was placing orders online. So it was definitely quite a bit. So when I added up how much I was spending per month, it was very, very eye-opening. Something I did not do at that time, but I think would be helpful, is whatever your problem area is. Let's say you love buying shoes, but you feel like you probably have too many and you need to stop buying them. I recommend taking everything out that you own in that category, whatever it may be, add up the value of that. And if that number shocks you, surprises you, upsets you, then that may be an indication that things do need to change. So adding up the numbers definitely helped me. And then this will also kind of depend on what you need to do. I mean, is it so bad that you're potentially in debt? Things like that. I will say one thing that I was really lying to myself for quite a long time. I will say, so I have not had credit card debt. The money I was spending was money that I had. But for a long time, I was deluding myself into thinking I didn't have a shopping problem because I didn't have credit card debt, which is pretty ridiculous looking back on that, because that money could have been better spent on more important things in life or put in my savings account. So just because you don't have credit card debt doesn't necessarily mean you have a problem. Obviously, only you can determine that, but that is something I was lying to myself for a very long time, saying, oh, well, I don't have any credit card debt, so I don't have a shopping problem. And I was very, very wrong. Adding up these numbers may also help determine, how bad the problem is. If you need professional help, from a financial person or something like that. That's not something that I've done, but, for some people that may be a good idea. On to number 2. This one is very, very important, and this probably may be the most important, and that is figuring out why are you over shopping. And so for me, basically, it started out as stress relief. If I was having a bad day, stressed out, whatever it may be, I would go to the mall, shop, make myself feel better. But then it also became a habit where anything I reacted to by shopping, oh, I'm in a good mood, oh, this thing happened, I'm happy about it, I would shop to reward myself. And it just became a habit to where I was just going to the mall 3, 4 times a week. That was just regular. That's what I did. I had that as a part of my schedule. So it kind of started as a reaction to certain stress and emotions, and then it also became a way for me to reward myself, and it just became a habit. It was just what I did. It was how I spent my time. And actually, relating back to number 1, something else that you could do is add up the time that you spend shopping and see if that number really scares you as well. Because if you think about it, if I was going to the mall 3-4 times a week plus shopping online, that would mean that potentially I was spending anywhere from 10-15 hours a week just shopping. So for my opinion, looking back on that and what I was doing, that was very, very problematic. So I'm really glad that I changed my ways. Alrighty. Number 3 is the one that probably a lot of people do, but it may not be something everyone has to do, and that is declutter. As we know, with the whole Marie Kondo decluttering and minimalism, it has been a huge thing online. But I will caution, I've done a whole video on my thoughts on decluttering. I may redo that video, it's an older one. But anyway, basically, I do think that decluttering can cause problems if you get into a vicious cycle of getting rid of things just to buy more. And there may be people who maybe do shop excessively, but they don't have clutter. And that may be because they're constantly cluttering and then buying more. So that is something to consider. So just be very, very cautious. But when things peaked for me 5-6 years ago, I never decluttered anything. I still had clothes in my closet from 10 years ago, things that didn't fit me, things that had fallen apart. I didn't declutter my makeup. I had makeup that was 10-15 years old. I didn't declutter anything. So I needed to do this. This was very crucial for me. And it was also very, very eye-opening when I went through everything and just found so much stuff I wasn't using, things I didn't even like. So for me, this was a very, very necessary step, but I will say later on, I did get into a bit of a cycle for a while there with makeup where I was decluttering and buying more. So something to be aware of, because decluttering can also be habit forming and cause problems as well. But for me, who really, really needed to do it at that time, it was very, very important. I had just so many accessories, clothes, shoes. I mean, it was crazy. But I will say this is a process. So I am at the point now where I love my closet and I really only buy clothing if I really need it. I wear things till they fall apart. So I just very rarely buy clothes, shoes, etc. But to get my closet the size that it is now, I have a very small closet, and then I have some things in a dresser, and that's about it. But that took a long time. It took me probably 2.5 years of decluttering and curating to where I like my collection of clothes and I like the way that it's organized. So again, this is not an overnight thing. For what I did was initially when this started, I donated like 3-4 bags of clothes to whatever thrift stores. And then another 4 or 5 months later, I donated another 3-4 bags. And then 6 months later, I did it again. So it was like just a whole process. But, as I was doing that, I was not buying more because I had stopped, which I will get to that later. But yeah, decluttering may be necessary for some people, may not be necessary for others, but just be aware not to get into the declutter then buy more cycle. All right, step number 4 is find what you love and what you hate. Of whatever, this category may be makeup, skincare, shoes, whatever. Go through things and really use your things and see what you really, really love and what you hate. If you find things that you hate, depending on what it is, you could get rid of it. If it's something that's, like makeup, only okay, you could project pan, that's an option. But just focus on not buying any of the stuff that you don't like anymore, because that's what I was doing. If I wasn't even thoroughly wearing my clothes and I was still buying things of that certain style that I was never wearing to begin with. So because I didn't even really know what I had in my collection, it was just a really, really huge problem that I was buying styles of clothes that didn't suit me, I didn't enjoy, but I was just buying them habitually. So the things you hate, don't buy anymore, and the things you love, use them and enjoy them. Alrighty, and number 5 is gonna be, what are you going to do next? So there's a lot of options here. A lot of people go on no buys, low buys, they set budgets for their shopping. There's a lot of options, so I think people just have to do what's right for them. I guess I'll tell you what I did. I did not do a makeup no buy, but for all of the other categories, clothing, shoes, etc., the candles, the body lotion, everything, I just went cold turkey and I just stopped shopping for all of it because I was so overwhelmed with how much I had in all of those categories. I just completely stopped. I was so fed up with the clutter and all of that I just didn't want to do it anymore. I was so exasperated with myself over the whole thing that I just had to go cold turkey. And makeup, that has kind of varied over the years. Like I did do a low buy in 2019, so I'm gonna do more videos talking about that later, but for all of the other things, which were truly my more problematic categories with how much I was spending, I just stopped because I just couldn't do it anymore. And so, but now I'm at the point where I'll occasionally buy a new sweater. I'll replace my jeans if they fall apart. You know, I buy shoes pretty much only if my other shoes have completely fallen apart. And I'm at the point where I don't even really enjoy like the act of shopping very much. It's just not that fun for me anymore. I think I just got burned out on it. So yeah, for me, I basically just went cold turkey because I was so annoyed and frustrated with myself and the clutter and all of that. Alrighty, so that is it for my tips and some of the experiences that I've had with this. Please let us know, what you think if you have experienced similar issues. I know that a lot of people potentially have. I mean, shopping problems and shopping addictions are definitely a real thing, and it is something that a lot of people deal with. So please let us know maybe some of the things you've done in the past to, improve your ways and things like that. As I mentioned, I'll link those other videos, and I am also planning more content in relation to this. So yeah, that is it. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.